You're not going to believe what CNN is saying about President Trump trying to give thousands of dollars back to the American people. Also, Trump orders Elon Musk and his geniuses to start the next phase of audits, even bigger audits. Now, the money spent at USAID seems like a lot of money to you and me, $50 billion, but it's a drop in the bucket compared to the big stuff that Donald Trump wants audited next. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's go ahead and jump into today's news update. President Donald Trump has just announced that the man, the myth, the legend, conservative voice Dan Bongino will now serve in his cabinet. In a post on Truth Social last night, President Trump stated, "Great news for law enforcement and American justice. Dan Bongino, a man of incredible love and passion for our country, has been named the next deputy director of the FBI by the man who will be the best ever director, Kash Patel. Dan has a master's degree in psychology from CUNY and an MBA from Penn State. He was a member of the New York Police Department, a highly respected special agent with the United States Secret Service, and is now one of the most successful podcasters in the country, something he is willing and prepared to give up in order to serve with the great United States Attorney General Pam Bondi, Kash Patel. Fairness, justice, law, and order will be brought back to America and quickly. Congratulations, Dan. This is huge. This is absolutely massive. I know the kind of money that Dan Bongino is giving up because he's like 10 times bigger than me, and I would struggle to give up my income. So this guy is an American patriot. And I hope that his podcast just continues to explode now and after. But this is good news. Let me know in the comments. Do you agree that he's going to be great for the FBI and the Secret Service? If you do, I want you to type Y. Now, even as Trump makes respectable moves, he continues to deal with undeserved hatred. For instance, somebody just hacked into the TVs at the Department of Housing and Urban Development cafeteria and displayed fake AI video of Trump kissing Elon Musk's feet. Now, a clear reference to him allowing Musk control over DOGE. Some are even saying that Elon Musk bought his way into being the secret president of the United States. Others are saying that Donald Trump is weak and that Musk is the one really running the country. My guess is some pervert who has a foot fetish created this video and then pumped it out. Now, despite consistent criticism from Democrats, I worry that Republican resistance to DOGE may soon emerge. In a recent ABC This Week interview, Representative Mike Lawler revealed that DOGE is launching a comprehensive forensic audit of every federal department and agency. To me, this initiative underscores a belief that corruption runs far deeper than many realize. Representative Lawler explained, "There's no question as the Department of Government Efficiency moves forward, that they are seeking to do is ensure that every agency and department is effectively and efficiently doing their job. With a $7 trillion budget, there is no question that our government has become bloated and in many respects inefficient. When you are staring down 36 trillion in debt and counting, obviously something has to give. And I think that's what we're seeing right now, a comprehensive forensic audit of every department and agency in the federal government." Now, while Representative Lawler's call for a comprehensive audit suggests a deep-seated concern about systemic corruption, another incident is drawing attention to the tangible human impact of these sweeping policy changes. I want to tell you more about that in just a minute. But President Trump is telling Elon Musk, get more aggressive. It's now time to start looking at the big agencies. USAID, that's a big amount of money, but it's a drop in the bucket. It's small potatoes compared to Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, military waste, These are the areas where we believe Trump will find the biggest amount of fraud. All right, now I want to go through what we know about the $5,000 DOGE dividend. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but I'll give you an update on that, as well as the absolutely blood-boiling, asinine stupidness of CNN and their reaction to President Trump wanting to help the American people versus foreign countries, foreign wars, and non-government organizations, NGOs. All right, first, a word from our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a war happening right now, but it's not what you think. It's actually in your gut, and it has to do with your need for kimchi, a battle between good and bad bacteria for your health. Kimchi One by Brightcore Nutrition is fermented superfood our bodies need in order to support good bacteria in our gut and give it what it needs to defeat the bad actors making us sick. Now, I can tell you from personal experience how kimchi has helped to rebuild my gut after COVID. It contains 900 strains of beneficial bacteria in each capsule. Kimchi One supports healthy digestion, fortifies your immune system, and helps detoxify the body. Kimchi has also been shown to reduce risk of obesity and promote smaller waistlines by curbing appetite and naturally boosting your metabolism. Today, you can get an exclusive offer by clicking the link below. Just use code Gardner for 25% off your entire order. Or, for an even better deal, call my friends at Brightcore today for up to 50% off your order and free shipping. That's right. Just give them a call at 888-908-4425. It's going to save you more money and you're going to get free shipping. All right, give them a call right now. Let me tell you about what is going on with the $5,000 DOGE dividend. So right now, Elon Musk has gone to the President of the United States and said, based on the amount of money that we're saving, in order to rebuild trust with the American people, return their stolen tax money, and get America's economy going again, we should release a $5,000 DOGE dividend. Now, President Trump agrees with this, but he used different language. He said that usually when there's a whistleblower or there's fraud, the person that exposes that gets around 20%. So President Trump said, we're exploring the idea of returning 20% of the discovered money to the American people. So the sitting president of the United States is saying, listen, we have to look this over. We don't want to have to print money to do this. We have to actually collect that money, and then we could do something around 20%. Elon Musk believes that number could be around $5,000. I don't know. I think it might end up being lower than that, because from what I'm reading on Newsweek and a few other places where they're analyzing this heavily, they're saying they would need about $400 billion to be discovered. Right now, they're sitting at around $100 billion. So a much smaller number. But as I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, they haven't even gone into the big agencies yet. So there is still more money that could be discovered. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about this? Regardless of the amount of money, do you believe that Trump and Elon Musk are right? This would reestablish trust in the government. This would return stolen tax money to the American people, and it would be good for the U.S. economy. If you agree with that, I want you to type Y. And if you disagree, I want you to type N for no. So Y for yes, N for no. Again, we don't want to just be voting money out of the Treasury, but if they've collected money and they believe it's stolen and abused taxpayer money, then I'm all for returning some of that to taxpayers. Now, I don't know that that needs to be returned to everybody. They're going to have to make that decision. I would certainly be willing to not receive a check for somebody who's struggling financially to receive a check. But again, the government is going to have to figure that out. But listen to what CNN had to say. This is really, really disturbing to me. Check this out.
and abuse. And by the way, James, I hope that he is. I don't like the approach, but I like the fact that something's being done. There is no money in the till. We owe $36 trillion. We owe $106,000 each. So whatever the savings ought to be, it's not like President Trump's doing us a favor by giving us 20%.
Okay, I have to stop right there, CNN. So you guys were all for allowing illegal immigrants to come into the country, get $10,000 a month of food stamps, $20,000 a month of free hotel, cell phone, free health care. You guys were all for Biden for giving tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt. But as soon as a Republican says, wait a minute, this is stolen money, this is discovered money, this is fraudulent money that is collected, we can't return all of it because the country's broke, but we could return a portion of it. Now CNN throws an absolute fit. Really? Are you kidding me, CNN?
Everything ought to go to the debt because the Peterson people say by 2050, 50% of all revenue is going to go to satisfying interest on the debt. We should be paying the debt.
This guy's starting to sound like an old school Republican. Lower taxes, pay off the debt, spend less money. But that wasn't his voice before. It was all about helping illegal immigrants.
Your response?
My response is this. We should be paying the debt, which is why the DOGE dividend incentivizes every American to call out waste, fraud, and abuse, to lower the budget, to narrow the deficit, and to bring down the debt. Where was this emergency over the debt when we sent $350 billion to Ukraine to be wasted? Where was this emergency, Michael, on CNN when you guys were advocating $7,000 to migrants in Chicago? $7,000 a month per migrant, and now we want to spend $5,000 one time from President Trump to hardworking Americans. The migrants didn't deserve $7,000 a month. Hardworking Americans deserve a $5,000 check with President Trump's name on it. So enough with the double standard. Ukraine did not deserve $350 billion.
Okay, listen to me. Listen to me. This is Madoff-like. This is a Ponzi scheme.
No, Ukraine was a Ponzi scheme. The migrant funding was a Ponzi scheme. Hardworking Americans deserve a break.
James,
it was their money, Michael. It was their money.
James, give me a chance to speak.
Okay, so returning taxpayer money to taxpayers is worse than the Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme? Did you guys hear what the CNN host said?
Theoretically, it's my program. We don't have the money, is what I'm trying to tell you. It's a Ponzi.
So we didn't have the money for Ukraine, right? We didn't have the money for Ukraine. $350 billion.
I never do this. I don't want to be that guy. And do I have to silence your microphone so that I can respond to what you've said? Because there's so much fallacy in what you've just offered.
Please go ahead and refute it.
I have a very simple premise here. We're $36 trillion in debt. It's a fraud. As much as I want to see us cut waste, fraud, and abuse, it is an absolute fraud to say to the American people, because of what Musk is doing, we have $5,000 to give each of you. The only way we have $5,000 is if we're borrowing it, because we're that far in debt. I'm trying to meet you halfway, which is simply to say, what a good thing that finally we're going to look at waste, fraud, and abuse, albeit it shouldn't be in this haphazard fashion. But let's at least be honest with the American people.
Okay, so now suddenly CNN is for verifying what Democrats have been doing. All of a sudden, CNN is for paying down the debt. All of a sudden, CNN wants there to be honesty and to get out the fraud, waste, and abuse. But then he goes on to say, I don't like the way that Elon Musk and Trump are doing it. But they're doing it. They're trying to make America great again. They're trying to pay down debt. They're trying to get rid of some of that $7 trillion a year in spending. And all you can do is complain and badmouth American taxpayers?
That whatever we quote unquote save, we already owe. Now I'm going to give you 30 seconds to respond, and then I'm going to say, see you later. Go ahead.
Michael, let me say this. We're fellow Americans. We care about this issue, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to come on this program, but I got to speak truth here. At the end of the day, we've got to send the money back that is saved, just 20% of it. The other 80% goes down to paying the national debt and narrowing the deficit. To your point, yes, there has been a fraud against the American people, the Green New Scam, Ukraine, the migrant crisis. Their taxpayer dollars were sent abroad, were not sent at home, were not spent in America, not on healthcare, not on education. That ends with President Trump's leadership today. He is delivering on his promise of major government reform, Michael. The DOGE dividend plan is bold, and Americans support it.
All right, I'm calling time on all of that. I appreciate your being here. I think we've each, I hope, made our respective points. Thank you.
Yeah, I get the point. You guys care more about Ukraine and illegal immigrants than you do about the American people. I mean, can Trump do nothing right to CNN? He comes in, seals the border, they bitch and complain. He comes in, he finds waste and abuse, and they say, we're going to cut that out. They complain. They want to help the American people. They complain. You can't do anything right if your name's Donald Trump or Elon Musk and you're a Democrat. Come on, take the win. They're making America better. They're cutting out all of the wasteful spending. It's just crazy to me. Please, I want to hear from you. Let me know your honest thoughts on CNN, your honest thoughts on 20% of the money being used to repay the American people for stolen money, and the other 80%, yes, pay down the national debt and then lower the spending so that we're not going into debt so quickly. Okay, New York Mayor Eric Adams has officially committed to completely shutting down New York City's remaining pro-migrant policies. According to Mario Nawfal on X, he stated, Mayor Eric Adams is pulling the plug on the Roosevelt Hotel Migrant Center, which has processed 173,000 illegal immigrants since May of 23. With weekly migrant numbers dropping by 4,000 to 350, NYC is set to close 53 illegal immigrant shelters in 2025, saving taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. Meanwhile, Trump isn't picking up the tab. His administration clawed back $80 million of FEMA money that was supposed to go to North Carolina. What's happening? Now the Big Apple is suing to get that stolen money back. Speaking of New York City, shocking news has just come out about Apple, but not the Big Apple. In a post on Truth Social, President Trump shared, Apple has just announced a record $500 billion investment into the United States of America. The reason? Faith in what we are doing, without which they would not have invested 10 cents. Thank you, Tim Cook, and thank you, Apple. Tim Cook stated, we are bullish on the future of American innovation, and we're proud to build on our long-standing U.S. investments with $500 billion committed to our country's future. From doubling our advanced manufacturing fund to building advanced technology in Texas, we're thrilled to expand our support for American manufacturing, and we'll keep working with people and companies across the country to help write an extraordinary new chapter in the history of American innovation. It is believed that over 20,000 good-paying jobs will be created. Thank you, Apple, for the $500 billion investment. All right, now a video shows USAID supporters expressing their thanks for laid-off workers as they leave their building with a box in their hand. The video went viral. Former White House advisor Susan Rice condemned the decision to dismantle USAID program as it deprives Americans of jobs. Oh my gosh. Stolen money. Stolen money. Okay. Furthermore, Susan Rice stated, when you slash and end all USAID programs, you're not just starving and killing innocent people overseas, You're harming American farmers. You're harming American workers who depend on those resources. This is an extraordinary, reckless thing that this administration is doing. It is not going to end well for the American people, and I don't think it's going to end well for Donald Trump. So she's basically saying Trump is going to kill millions of people, and now that stolen money that Congress didn't even know how was being spent, now you're depriving Americans of jobs. Where was she crying when Boeing laid off thousands of people? When Biden shut down the pipeline, the Keystone pipeline that cost over 10,000 American jobs? Nobody cried for them. But now what she's really crying about is that Democrats got caught funneling billions and billions of dollars into fake shell companies. But here's what Representative Clay Higgins had to say. He said, listen, I'm a compassionate man. I know loss. I know struggle. I understand financial hardship. I know what it is to face eviction. I know hunger. I've lived through despair. So to the scores of thousands of federal employees who are facing unemployment because your elected officials have for decades grown the federal bureaucracy into corrupt, bloated, weaponized devourers of American treasure and oppressors of American freedom, I say to you, I feel your pain and I wish you well. But your job was no more important than the carpenter, the machinist, the welder, the cop, the trucker, the warehouse worker, the salesman, the waitress, the heavy equipment operator, and every American who lives down the street from you whose job has not been insulated from the real world. Our federal government bureaucracies are literally cannibalizing our nation, eating our children's future. MAGA Republicans are going to bring our federal government back into sustainability. If you've lost your job, I'm sorry for your struggle. Pick yourself up. We will give you a hand. We're all Americans. Join us in saving our beloved republic. Now, I couldn't have said it better. Life can be unfair, but again, you cannot have a job based off of stolen money. Americans deserve that if the government's going to take their money, that it is used wisely, prudently, and has fiduciary oversight. That's not what was happening here. We were literally funding the takeover of our own country. We were literally having our money stolen and our children's future stolen. So that's what's really going on. All right, now I want to hear from you guys, but one last final story. Trump hating, Musk hating, MAGA hating, white people hating Joy Reid of The Readout on MSNBC has been fired. Her contract is not being renewed for the tens of millions of dollars she makes to spew hate all over live TV. Heck, maybe she'll join Don Lemon and create a podcast about hating America and hating Trump and hating MAGA and hating white people and hating Elon Musk. I don't know. I wish her the best of luck, but I'm not sad that she's off the airwaves. All right, I love you guys. If you could, give this video a like, hit that subscribe button. We're almost to 2 million amazing truth seekers. I love you. Stay amazing, and I will see you on the next video.